So I'm messaging this guy from Hinge. Red flag, I know. I don't know how I haven't given up on that app yet, but he seems nice. He still seems nice. But so I give him my phone number. And we're talking like the typical, like, where are you from, whatever. And he says he's from LA. I'm like, oh, what made you move up here? And he's like, oh, my buddy's up here, and LA was too liberal for me. I mentioned that I lived down there for a summer, whatever, but I said, I lean more liberal, so like that isn't an issue for me. And he's like, oh no, don't tell me you're a tree hugger. And then he said, LOL, I'm kidding. And I'm like, funny. I was like, funny, haha. Now it's just what I tend to lean more towards usually. And then I said, don't tell me you're a MAGA guy. And he's like, would it be a deal breaker if I voted for Trump? And I was like, I typically give a pass for the first election because I like to think most people voted. I like to think the people voted for high hopes of being like, maybe he won't be bad. Like they just, whatever. And I was like, but after the second election, like if you voted for him twice after the first 4 years, you saw how horrible he was, you voted for him, then yeah, no, it's a deal breaker. Like we're not going to line up. He's like, oh, it's like that. And I'm like, yeah, we're like not going to line up like that. Like, I'm not saying your opinions aren't valid because he's like, well, it's the worst of two evils, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you can have your own thoughts and opinions. I'm just saying we will not agree on this. And it's like morally, we will not agree. And I just can't date someone that has that opposite of opinions. Like I said, first election, we give the pass. Second election, I can't do it. So he starts asking, like, you think Joe Biden's the answer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. But like, I'm just not going to get into it. But like, for me, it's like, I don't know you. I don't even like you yet. Like nothing. Like, I'm going to say, yeah, this is it. Day 2. Because why am I going to keep talking to you knowing that like that's not going to go anywhere? Because like I said, he was like, oh, it's like that. And I'm like, yeah, it is like that. Nice knowing you, buddy. I'm not going to waste any more of my time. I would also just really quickly, before I get attacked, say, I think in a relationship, it is good and healthy and totally okay to have different opinions. Different opinions are different than different, like, morals, life, like, human rights. You need to align on that, in my opinion. So I'm not saying you can not vote for a different political party. I don't want to hear comments. I just think with that one specifically, he divided this country so much that it's hard / impossible for me to date someone that like went for that. So I just want to do that little disclaimer. Anyways, Kara finds her Ken, I guess, continues.